Welcome back, guys. In this video, we gonna break down an application that we made before and explain everything in it from the XML file to the Kotlin file and everything else in it. This video can show the potential of what you can do with what we learned so far. Let's get to it. First, we start with the activity main.xml file. In the UI of our application, we have 5 buttons, 10 text views, and 2 image views. First, we have the title text view. It is the view displaying on the top of our UI. It displays the name of the application. We set the width of it to match parent, and the height to wrap content. We set the text size to 20 sp, the text style to bold, and the gravity to center. We link our view to our parent layout from the top, the start, and the end. Next, we have the 2 text views that displays your choice and the computer choice. First, we can copy the text view that we made before and then change the attributes on it. We change the ID. And then we erase the text attribute and change it to the hint attribute. This will let the player know what each view represents. Next, we copy that text view to make another place for the computer choice. It's the same drill. We change the ID of the text view and we change the text attribute to hint. Next, let's set the constraint of our views. We use the constraint top to bottom of to make the 2 text views go under the title text view. Next, we will link the end of the player's choice text view to the start of the computer choice text view. Next, we link the end of the computer choice text view to the end of the parent layout. We set both of their width to 0 sp for equal distribution. We also set the padding to 8 sp. The result text view is the text view that will display the result, so we change the hint to result, showing that this text view is going to display the result of the round. Next, we set the constraint. We link the top of our result text view to the bottom of either the text view that displays the player choice or the one that displays the computer choice. Next, we link the start and the end of our view to the parent layout. Now for the shoot button is pretty straightforward. This button is what launches the game when you click on it. It is under the result text view. So we link the top of the button to the bottom of that text view. We link the start and the end of the view to the parent layout. Those 3 buttons let the player choose between rock, paper, and scissors. They are pretty simple. We create a button with the text attribute equals to rock. We create another button with the text attribute equals to paper. We create a third button with the text attribute equals to scissors. All those 3 buttons are going to be under the shoot button. So we link the top of each button to the bottom of the shoot button. Next, we link the start of the rock button to the start of the parent layout. We link then the end of the rock button to the start of the paper button. We link the start of the paper button to the end of the rock button. Next, we link the end of the paper button to the end of the start of the scissors button. And lastly, we link the start of the scissors button with the end of the paper button, and the end of the scissors button to the end of the parent layout. We set all those buttons width to 0 sp to get equal distribution. Set the text size to 15 sp. We need to show the player where is his score, where is the computer score, where is the draw score. And this is what those 3 text views are for. They are under the 3 choices buttons. So we link the top of each text view to the bottom of the button that it is on top of it. Next, just like with the 3 buttons, we link the start of the player's score title text view to the start of the parent layout. We link the end of it to the start of the draw score title. We link the start of the draw score to the end of the player score title. And we link the end to the start of the computer score title. Next, we link the start of the computer score title text view to the end of the draw score title text view, and the end of that to the end of the parent layout. Rather than using the hint attribute, we can now use the text attribute to show what each text view represents. We set the width of all text views to 0 sp to get equal distribution. And we set the text size to all the text views to 20 sp. It should be noted there is a mistake. Just change your score to computer score. Now let's move to the text views that shows the actual score. They are under the text views that shows the titles. So we link the top of each of those text views to the bottom of the text views of the title. And then, just like the previous text views, we link the start of the player score to the start of the parent layout, and the end to the draw score. Next, we link the start of the draw score to the end of the player score, and the end to the start of the computer score. Lastly, we link the start of the computer score to the end of the draw score, and the end to the end of the parent layout. Set all the width to 0 sb for equal distribution, and set the text to 0. This is the button that resets the game. It is under the scores text view. So we link the top of the button to the bottom of one of those text views. Link the start and the end of the button to the parent layout. We set the width to match parent and the height to wrap content. Now for the two image views that shows the player choice and the computer choice. We create two image views with the width of 100 sp and height of 100 sp. We gonna put them under the title text view. So we link the top of those two text views to the bottom of our title text view. And then we link the start of the player choice image view to the start of the parent layout. For the computer choice, we link the start of the image view to the end of the player choice image view and the end to the end of the parent layout. Also, we should change the constraint of the top of the two text views that shows the player and the computer choice to link them to the bottom of our two image views. And so this will result in the two text views becoming under the two image views in our UI. In this part, we are going to add 3 colors to our application that will show the result. Red will be the colors of the result text if you lose, green if you win, and blue if it's a draw. Adding the colors is pretty simple. We go to our color.xml file. We copy one of the predefined colors in the file. Then we change the name of that color and we change the hex code corresponding to the color we want. You can find the hex code for those colors with a simple Google search. And here are the ones I used in my application. Now for adding the image files, it's pretty straightforward. We take the images that we downloaded and we just drag them from our folder to our drawable folder. Now it's time to explain the logic of the application. First, we have the 3 buttons that lets the user chooses between rock, paper, and scissors. When the user click one of those buttons, it locks the choice both in the text view and the image view. And then when we press the button shoot, it locks the rest of the application where the computer randomly picks between rock, paper, and scissors. This choice is then locked in both the image view and the text view. Then the application will compare between the player's choice and the computer choice. After that, it gives the result in the result text view and changes the score. If player wins, it adds 1 to the player's score. If the computer wins, it adds 1 to computer's score. If it's draw, it adds 1 to the draw score. Then we have the reset button that resets everything in the game from score to choices to everything else. For the player's choice, it's pretty straightforward. We create an immutable list that contains our 3 choices, and a variable called your choice that will contain the player choice. Then I use the setOnClick listener, so when the button is clicked, the variable your choice becomes equal to the string of the choice. Then I set the text of the text view to that variable. For the image, I use the setImageResource method to set the image to the corresponding image of the choice, and then we do the same for all the other buttons. Next, for the shoot button, we call the function gameLogic that randomly pick a choice for the computer, compare between the 2 choices, and display the result and the score. Now let's break down that function. First, for making the computer choice, we make a variable called computer choice. We use the random method to pick a number between 0 and 2. Then that number is going to be the index of our choice inside the choices list, which will then return either rock, paper, or scissors. And then we assign that to the text of the text view that displays the computer choice. Next, for the image, it's also pretty simple. We take that computer choice variable and then we use the when operator. So when it's equal to rock, we use the rock asset. If it's paper, we use the paper asset, and so on. Now for the game logic part, we first define when player win. So in our if statements, we will cover when the possibilities of the player winning. And then inside that bracket, the game will print you win in the result text view, make the color of the text green, and add 1 to the player score, and then update the score. Second, we use the else if operator to define when we have a draw. And when we do the game will print draw in the result text view, make the text blue, and add 1 to the draw score, and then update the score. And lastly, we use the else to define when the computer wins. This will cover both the scenarios where the computer wins and the scenario where the player doesn't pick in the first pick. If that happened, the game will print computer wins in the result text view, make the text red, and lastly add 1 to the computer score, and then update the score. Now lastly, for the reset button, it's pretty straightforward. We reset the scores to 0. Then we update the scores text views. Next we empty the image views by setting the image resource to 0. And lastly we reset all the choices text views and the result text view. And we print our hints back. And that was the end of our video today. If you built this application by yourself, or you needed some help to make it, congratulations to you. This is the end of the Level 1 Android development course. I hope you found it helpful. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.